assume he'll give me a heads up here or a thumbs up or something. And I am also going to record tonight, just in case there's a thumbs up. And I'm going to say,
Looks like it's recording.
yeah, it's still spinning. There we go. All right, we're here in the school. However, we are all well over 6 feet apart, so we are not wearing masks this evening, but we are broadcasting out to the community through our Google slides here. So that being said, Dr. Swab, it is all yours.
Great. I'd like to, thanks for coming. I'd like to start our Bradford Exempted Village Board of Education April 20th meeting. Could we stand for the pledge, please? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Dr. Swab,
Here.
Mrs. Brewer,
Here.
Pastor Reindl,
Here.
Mr. Biesecker,
Here.
Mr. Manuel.
Here.
I'd like to welcome everyone here this evening. So we'll be broadcasting this along with our personal meeting tonight in report 4. So our first item is reviewing the agenda. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda that's printed for us?
Carla, you bring that one up here.
We actually received a donation that I would like to actually read a letter from the donor tonight, and that would go under our section. Let's make that 15 on the agenda on page 5. And that is from Kathleen Moore Warner in the amount of $5,000. And I will go into the specificity of that in my report.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. So add that to item 15. Under the report consent items, correct?
Yes.
Any other additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, I have a motion for approving the agenda with the addition noted.
So moved.
Second.
And then roll call, please.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Reindl.
Yes. Next item is approving the minutes for our special meeting, March 18th, 2021, and April 6th, 2021. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move.
Thank you, Scott. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or questions regarding those items? Hearing none, roll call for approval, please.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Reindl.
Yes.
Next item is our student spotlight. I'll turn it over to our administrative team for the next session.
These are our Bradford Students of the Month. This week for the elementary, we're going to be recognizing 3 fifth graders since we have 3 fifth grade classes. Our first one is Lucas Nicholson, and he was nominated by Mrs. Angle. She says, I'd like to recognize Lucas Nicholson as my 5th grade Student of the Month. Lucas's drive to gain knowledge is very impressive. He is able to remain focused on the task at hand, and he wants to do a great job while doing it. He's not afraid to ask questions, show his work, and take the suggestions I offer to heart. He works hard every day in the classroom, and he worked extremely hard during our virtual days. Often, if he was stumped, he would message me and had a private Google Meet with me if he did not until the lesson was understood. Most students just waited until we were back in session or gave up, but Lucas showed great perseverance. I'm so proud of him and his work ethic. Lucas is very athletic as well. He is competitive on the playground and wants to win, but he does so appropriately and fairly. What impresses me most, though, is that instead of cutting others down or not picking them for his team, he is willing to help others with their skills. My heart was so full when I saw him try to help another student learn to catch a football. He demonstrated the motion it takes to make a catch. He then tossed the ball to him so he could be successful, getting farther away each time. In the game situation, Lucas threw the ball to the student and was caught for a touchdown. Lucas ran to congratulate the other student, and the smiles seen were awesome. Lucas truly made the student's day. Lucas is an asset to the Bradford school system and his community. I can't wait to see his achievements in the years to come. He's told me years upon years that he's going to be the next crocodile. Yes, that's what he says. Or no, Steve Irwin. That's it, Steve Irwin. So hopefully he will take over that role and he'll do everything he can to do that. He's got the little Australian accent now. Our next one is Damien Long. Damien was nominated by Mrs. Unthank. I've had the pleasure of working with the student for the past 2 years. Times are not always easy, but Damien has matured into a wonderful young man. I can always count on him to try his very best on assignments, and he's not afraid to ask questions. Damien can be found spending his extra time building up his AR points or working on math goals online. Even on rough days, Damien always welcomes me with a hug and kind words. My desk is full of kind notes and pictures that Damien has given to me over the past 2 years. Damien also is the kind of classmate that is always willing to help others in the classroom, no matter who they are. If students are working on assignments during recess, Damien will openly offer to help his classmate. He even spent his extra money buying the whole class donuts as a special treat. I am certainly going to miss Damien when he moves on to middle school next year, but I'm confident he will do great things. Damien Long is an example of an exceptional railroader. And Damien has come a long way. So to know that he is now being nominated for that, he has a kind heart, and he definitely has stepped up this year to show that kind heart. Lastly, we have Haven Evans, and this is from Mr. Schwederman. I'm pleased to recognize Haven Evans as my choice for Student of the Month. Haven has proven to be a pillar of excellence both in and out of the classroom. There is never any question that the work she does in class will not only be done on time, but will be done with great effort and attention to detail. She follows the 5 R's in the hallway and out on the playground. Accompany this with the extracurricular activities she is involved with, including basketball, soccer, and student council. It is easy to see Haven having a bright future ahead of her. Haven works incredibly hard in the classroom and is one of my first options to pair with a student if they need help. She definitely keeps everybody on task. She's a good one for that. Haven had taken on that responsibility and has done amazing things with it. Other students in the room become better students because of the leadership and help that Haven can provide. I am incredibly blessed to have Haven as part of my classroom family and extremely excited to see where her future can take her. With her work ethic, drive, and positive attitude, the sky's the limit for a young lady like Haven. And the funny part is her little sister's coming to kindergarten, so we talked a little bit about gymnastics and how she wouldn't even jump in kindergarten. And now she is to that point where she's doing all those other extracurriculars.
So for the junior high and high school, our first student is Savannah Biesler, who is nominated by Mrs. Sneed, and this is what Mrs. Sneed had to say about Savannah. I would like to recognize 6th grader Savannah Biesler as Bradford Student of the Month. Savannah is the daughter of Gareth and Athena Biesler. Her brothers are Aiden and Owen Biesler. Savannah has earned a 4.0 in the first 3 quarters of her junior high career. She's a hard worker and she will do anything that is asked of her. Savannah completes all her work on time and is always very well thought out and detailed. She will even complete an extra credit assignment knowing that she doesn't even need the extra credit to help her grade. Savannah is also always willing to help a struggling classmate, and she often offers to help me with tasks of my own. Savannah is a member of the Odds and Ends 4-H Club and Bradford Student Council. She plays basketball and runs cross country. In her free time, Savannah enjoys drawing, painting, and making crafts. She also likes walking and running through the woods. After high school, Savannah would like to go to college to pursue a degree in architecture or interior design. Savannah is such a genuine individual, and I'm lucky to have her in my classes. She's a terrific role model to her classmates, and the world needs more people just like her. Savannah, congratulations on being named Bradford Student of the Month. And then our next Student of the Month is Tegan Cannon, who is nominated by Mr. Snyder. Mr. Snyder had to say, I would like to recognize freshman Tegan Cannon as one of Bradford's outstanding students. Tegan is one of the most positive students I have and has been this way for as long as I've had her in my classes. I have never seen her be negative, and her outlook on school, life, and adversity is admirable. She is kind to her peers, encouraging in class, and has gone out of her way to compliment others. Tegan is without a doubt a role model to many in our district, and her character does not go unnoticed. Congratulations, Tegan. And then for staff recognition, we have Mr. Nick Ballmer, who was the Dark County Teacher of the Year. Mr. Ballmer was selected by his colleagues as the 2021 Dark County Teacher of the Year. Mr. Ballmer began reviving the Bradford FFA program 5 years ago as part of our partnership with the Upper Valley Career Center. Mr. Ballmer has found creative ways to make his class material engaging, helping build his program to where it is today. Mr. Ballmer has gained the respect of students by treating them fairly, setting high expectations and teaching them the fundamentals of agriculture through his classes, labs, CDE events, and other activities. He has also earned their respect and admiration by serving as a role model for his students and always having their best interests in mind. Mr. Ballmer has a positive relationship with his colleagues and has earned their respect as well. He regularly collaborates with other teachers and school staff, and also takes position of leadership within the school, such as leading professional development sessions and working with the district leadership team. We thank Mr. Ballmer for all his hard work, commitment, and contribution to the Bradford School District and community.
I brought in one of the pieces of work that he's had his students work on. Scout Spencer and Oakley Brubaker. We have a student in the MD classroom who needs heavy work. Trust me, this is heavy work. So I had an example that I showed to Mr. Ballmer. He says, yes, I've got students I can put on that. So they designed this out of what they saw, which is like a sled that he pushes around to help with him to keep himself grounded. So he takes this, and all they did was have a picture to make this with. So as you can see, they're giving back to the community on top of doing those FFA and learning how to do a lot of carpentry work. It's just been amazing what he's done with us since he's been here. And the kids did amazing on this because, like I said, it was a picture and they designed it then. So pretty excited, and I appreciate what they did for that young man that's in the MD classroom.
So at this time, we'd also like to recognize the state powerlifting champions. So the state champions are Ashton Kaiser, who lifted a total of 610 pounds, Macy Bubeck, who lifted a total of 640 pounds, Skip Miller, who lifted a total of 825 pounds, Courtney Monin, who lifted a total of 665 pounds, Ethan Saunders, who lifted a total of 1,005 pounds, and Keith Mead, who lifted a total of 1,085 pounds. Placing second place at the state level were Olivia Boggs with 645 pounds, Jenna Schellbarger with 590 pounds, and Belle Burgett with 590 pounds. And placing third place at the state meet was Zoe Brewer, 575 pounds, Dylan Mitchell with 1,060 pounds, Garrett Torino with 845 pounds, and Ben Kitts with 970 pounds. And this is the first championship for our girls powerlifting team since 2001. And the 6 individual champions bring the total state champions, individual champions, to 50 since powerlifting started back in 1990. So congratulations to the girls. We're really proud of how hard they did it. I know last year they were hoping to make it to state where they were hoping to win, and I'm glad they had that opportunity to kind of do that this year. So.
This is Farm Fun in kindergarten. They're trying their best to have as many opportunities as they can considering it's COVID time. Mrs. DePoy, who used to be a teacher here at Bradford, brought some horses from her farm out for the kids to see. They have actual chicks in their classroom. If you're interested, going to see those chicks that have hatched in the kindergarten classrooms. So they're trying their best to get them, even though we can't take field trips, ability to have the farm come to them, as well as Ag Day, which I forgot to add into what's coming up. On April 30th, we have Ag Day, where the students that are in FFA will be having Ag Day, and there'll be stations for the entire elementary K through 5. It'll be the first one when all grades K through 5 will be a part of Ag Day. This is the Wall of Fame Mrs. Angle does every year with famous people where they do research and they learn more about them. We've got Donald Trump up here, and we've got, looks like a red player here. I don't really know which one it is, but we've got a lot of famous people up here that they made, and then they do the reports on J-Lo. And then it's interesting, today was kindergarten screening. We had a good turnout for the kindergarten screening. Every student got an I'm on the right track, their first Bradford shirt that they got to take home today. And then this is so on to elementary. So I thought it was fitting to put beginning of the new kids coming in, and then the 5th grade who wrote about their first time in elementary school here at Bradford and their memories and a picture of what they look like now. So I encourage you, if you ever got time, to walk down there and read the stories they wrote about times they had. And hopefully they keep on to that, so when they're seniors, they have that to show. And I think that's all I've got.
So athletic updates, the baseball team played at Dayton Air Ballpark, the 18th, which was Sunday. Softball playing at the Seminole Valley, and the high school track is at the Miami County meet today in Troy. Kind of going into the future, softball, baseball's at Newton on the 22nd, softball's at Houston, and the high school tracks at the Tiger Relays on the 23rd, which is Friday. And junior high tracks at FM, and JV softball is, versus National Trail on Saturday. And then entire coaching staff is currently working together to host an all sports camp this June for students entering grades 3 through 6. And then upcoming events, on May 1st, we have prom. On the 28th, senior breakfast, and that's the last day for seniors. The 29th is graduation. June 2nd is field day for elementary students. June 3rd is awards day for elementary students. June 3rd is also kindergarten graduation and the last day for students. So we're starting to get to the point where we're wrapping it up, and as a parent of a senior, it's going way too fast. So.
And testing's not over, so we're excited about that as well, because that has been trying this school year with virtual students and just trying to get everybody tested. Anybody have any questions for us?
Thank you very much. What a complicated year going very quickly. Seems slow while you're living it, but then all of a sudden it's over. It was,
A lot of growth, for
Yeah.
sure, for everybody.
It is kind of nice to see, especially for the seniors, that they're having opportunities. Unfortunately, last year seniors didn't get, but it looks like we'll be able to do a live graduation, we'll be able to do prom, and we're really excited that we're kind of slowly starting to get back to normal.
yeah, that is a significant plus. Thank you guys. Next is Mr. Person, his superintendent report.
Yes, I got just things here. Obviously, we have an open principal position. We've got 22 applicants as of today. And reading through those, it's very promising that we have a bright future there with some opportunities there for an empty seat. We also are interviewing next week for our open technology or director of technology position. We had 18 applicants. We're going to interview 4 of them on the early part of next week. We've got that all scheduled, I think, for Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. Was Tuesday, wasn't it? Was it Monday? Monday. They all go together. I'm not sure which one I'm interviewing for. So, but yeah, Monday next week, we will interview 4. We'll do some reference checks. I've already started with a few of them, with people that I know and making sure that we've got some connections that way. But things are looking promising there as well. I kind of want to reiterate what we were talking about over here. Mr. Daugherty brought it up. I'm excited that this year we will be able to have graduation in person. We will be able to have a limited number of people coming in for each of the families, but we'll be able to actually have that in person in the gymnasium. So hopefully on that day, all of you will be here to be able to help pass out those diplomas and help out and make that a special day for our graduated seniors. And then, of course, we're also talking about prom, and that's going to happen Saturday next week. So that'll be hopefully a very positive environment for our students as well. And even though they've got to wear masks at the time, hopefully they'll be able to let loose a little bit and have some fun during that evening. So that being said, that's all I have for this evening, unless you have questions for me.
Any questions? Thank you very much. Next, Mrs. Brewer, do you have an update from the Valley Cruising?
I have 2 things. Their annual Achievers Banquet is going to be on May 6th. It's going to be a little different this year. They're not having a lot of guests, but same with convocation. It's going to be on May 27th, and it's still time to be determined. But they do have those 2 dates scheduled. It's a little different. That's all.
Thank you very much. Next is Mrs. Server, do you have anything from the treasurers?
Yes, I have a few things. We received an announcement today that we are going to receive $766,000 and some odd dollars for the ESSERS fund, ESSERS 3. And there is a whole host of restrictions along with that. So I know that the administration has already been discussing some of the things they're going to do, but the brief pamphlet that talks about it is 33 pages. So, and then we have a lot of situations that we're getting into because, as I told you before, we're doing much more federal grant funding. And we also, Mr. Hurst and I talked this morning about the fact that it's just become known to us that we have an opportunity for some FEMA funding, which is also federal money, and that requires all our activities on procurement. So we're going to be busy over the next few months trying to secure and spend wisely the monies that are coming our way, because we'll have to meet a lot of criteria with that. So that's a very positive situation. The thing that I talked to you about earlier was a donation that came, and I know Mrs. Levy actually took that donation, and I have an affiliation here too. Kathleen Moore Warner was an educator here from 1972 to 2003 and retired from here. And she has a great deal of passion, and I'm going to read this just because I thought it was such a nice note, and I think for me to express or paraphrase would not be fair to her. She wrote to all of you that I have always been appreciative of Bradford taking a chance on me when Mr. Weiss hired me in 1972 for an elementary position. I have many long-lasting bonds with former colleagues, students, and families. Please accept this monetary gift to be used in some way to further elementary students' appreciation of the arts, music, important components of a well-founded education. And she donated $5,000 for that use for the elementary. I think it's fantastic. And her husband was actually on the school board that hired me back in 1995 at Greenville. So we have some common bonds there that Bradford gave her first opportunity, and Greenville gave me my first opportunity, and I'm very glad we mixed the two, and I'm here today. So just wanted to share that with you because I thought that was really great that they did that today. On a less joyous note, wanted to bring forth that we've talked about the House Bill 509 training that needs to be accomplished, and Mr. Manuel, I have taken this for every other member of this board, but so I'm going to give you the opportunity to decide. It's an online course. You can take it online. It's 3¼ hours. It's very educational. You might find it one that you want to take, or if you wish me to take it for you, every board member has to either has a designee or has to take the training themselves. So I'm going to let you look at a little bit of the training and decide whether you feel more comfortable taking it, so you have an idea of the sunshine laws and how the way the board operates. So since we had some experienced board members, I took it for everyone else. I'm willing to do that for you also, but I want to give you the opportunity to make that decision. Then we received some E-rate funding this week, our award letter on that. So sometime in the next few months, we'll be moving ahead with some of our access points and some of the things that we requested through that. And lastly, we've had some discussions about our levy that is going to expire and what we may be doing with that. And on the board agenda tonight, you will see Mr. Cabeza of Dinsmore and Shaw, which if we have a need, I wanted the opportunity to put him on this agenda and for you to place a contract before him, which would be very, very small and simple if we decide to pursue further these options. So that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah, I actually was, when I was in elementary, Kathy Moore, I had her for first year. So
as there, when she started in elementary, so that was in 72. That was-
What are you talking about?
I had her as Kathy Warner, so.
Yeah, she was more when I had her the first year she was here, so she was a great teacher and always was a great asset to our community. Next is public participation. I didn't have any requests in here. So next item in our agenda is the financial report from the treasurer. So the following calendar items are listed to be approved by the superintendent. I'll read those briefly overview so that we can then discuss as needed. It'll be the financial journal, the register, the listed now and then certifications of bills, approval of the permanent appropriations and the transfer of advances for the month. Also recommend the approval of changing our voluntary employee paid life carrier from Unum to Minnesota Life, except following donations from Penny's Blacktop Maintenance in amount of $1,000 for the scoreboard. Next is looking donation from the Bradford Youth Association, $1,000 toward Brick Plus. Donation for gum candy, eggs, etc. for staff and students from the Fields of Grace and in place of Easter egg hunt that was canceled due to COVID-19. Donation for Covington Savings and Loan, $500 for scholarships. Primary care insurance, $1,000 toward the scoreboard. Contract negotiated with Dinsmore and Shoal LLP for the purpose of levy discussion and possible resolution. Approving Dr. Consultant as a third-party administrator for the workers' comp. And contract with the industrial appraisal company for appraisal of district assets, as well as the donation of $5,000 from Mrs. Moore. Any discussion regarding those items? The motion to approve.
Could you tell us a little bit about number 6?
The number 6 is pertaining, we buy our insurance through the Southwest Ohio EPC. This is their recommendation, and they actually price it for all the districts. And our district cost is going from 10 cents to 11 cents, and our current vendor, Unum, was not competitive in the quotes. So this is their recommendation, and we've been very successful in taking their recommendations on the life insurance. So that's really what that's relating to.
How much life insurance is carried on each?
$50,000 on full-time employees.
Anything else? We have a motion and for approval. Items 15. Thank you. Pastor, and a second. Second. Scott, thank you. Any other discussions or questions for Mr. Hearing none, we'll call for approval.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle.
Yes.
We have no old business. Our next is new business items. And the superintendent recommends approval of the following items. We'll give you an overview of its employment of supplemental contracts for the following listed coaching positions. Next is supplemental contract for an additional on-staff coach. Next is substitute contracts for those following listed in item C. Item D is reemployment for 1-year teaching contracts for those listed. Item E is reemployment of 3-year limited teaching contracts for those listed. Item F is a 5-year teaching contract for those listed. Item G are 1-year substitute contracts for those listed. And number 2 is approval of the resignation of Mr. Triplett. Number 3 is approving resignation of Hazel Cesare for 6th, 7th, 8th grade class incisor and 11th grade co-class visor. And the next is resignation of Deanne Black as a part-time cafeteria effective April 30th. Next is approving the following substitute teacher nurse rate for 21, 22, and $95 per day. And if the board wishes to increase by $1 a day per subsequent school years to a maximum of 100. Next is approving contract with Miami Valley Educational Computer Association based on E-rate analysis for a matrix. Next is approval of renewing contract with Frontline for absence and substitute management. Next is recommend approval of contract for online enrollment, final forms at a cost not to exceed $7,000. Item 9 is superintendent recommends upon successful completion of their high school work, the list of candidates for the class of 2020 be recommended for graduation, which will occur on May 29, 2020 at 2:30 p.m. Item 10 is recommend the purpose of a 60-inch mower of $10,399 plus trade-in. Next is recommend approval of the following resolution. Whereas today's staff members mold our future citizens through their guidance and education, and whereas today's staff members encounter students of widely differing backgrounds and abilities, and whereas our society expects public education to provide quality education services to all students, no matter what their backgrounds or abilities, and whereas our county's future depends in large measure upon the education of your youth received today, and whereas staff members spend endless hours outside their classroom preparing and engaging lessons, evaluating process, counseling, coaching, performing community service, supporting the educational and instructional goals of the district, and whereas our community recognizes that as the staff members are providing quality educational services to our students, now therefore be it proclaimed that the Bradford Village Board of Education designates the week of May 3rd to 7th, 2021 as Staff Member Appreciation Week in this community. Be it therefore proclaimed that the Board of Education calls on community members to join in it personally in expressing appreciation of our staff members for a job well done. The board would like to also express their appreciation with a small token of appreciation and food provided in the building during that week. Item 12 is recommending following the guidance and requirements set forth by the Ohio Department of Education for graduation in a pandemic. Next, approving one staff member and no more than 10 students to attend the Ohio FFA camp in Muskegon using the school van. Next, approving the Comprehensive Literary Estate Development Grant Consortium Agreement and memorandum of understanding, accepting $500 educational grant to promote health and safety in our schools. Recommending a 4-week summer school from June through August 21st. Next is recommending the 5 summer school teachers in the amount of $20 per hour for 4 hours each day. Next, approving a van driver in the amount of 2 hours a day to transport students to and from summer school. Recommending collaborative planning with Miami County Sheriff's Department for safety talent in July 5 through 9. Next, approving the district's learning recovery and extended learning plan. And finally, approving an interagency agreement to operate a historic program housed at Bradford Exempted Village School District. Do I have a motion to approve those items reviewed? Thank you, Maria. And a second.
Second.
Thanks, Louis. Any questions or discussion regarding those items? Hearing none, all to approve.
Mr. Bisecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle.
Yes.
Our next items is the official first reading of the following Neola policies that we received by email. Seems like a lot of them are just very minimal changes and wordings. And I guess I have one question about, are they specifically assigning the officers? Does that mean that we need to do this again if they change?
Yes, and when I talked to our Neola representative, I was trying to talk him out of that change because right now we have high school principal does this, high school or elementary principal does this. But this change is actually going to put attached names to that. The rationale is there has been or have been lawsuits to say that school districts are trying to cover up who those people are. So this is supposed to be transparent, clear, so on and so forth. So yes, they are being changed, and they said that to change them in the event of, say, Mr. Triplett moving on, and then we replace him with somebody else, it only takes a revision of the policy for technical issues. So it's only a motion voted on that evening. It doesn't have to take the 2 readings like we normally would have for a change in a policy.
And they'll technically present all the policies for which that will be effective.
Yes,
And
yes.
bring those two back to us.
And there's actually 12 different policies that changes. So.
Okay. That was my biggest question. Otherwise, a lot of it is just semantics and
It
changes
really is.
involved.
Yep.
Any overview or anything that you wanted to present on those policies, or does board members who have reviewed those, was there other questions?
I will absolutely answer any questions I have. I have an email here of all the overviews, and that should be the same email that you guys received. If anybody that didn't get that email has questions, I can certainly answer anything I can. But most of them were mundane with grammatical changes or this verbiage changed to that verbiage in every school district in the United States. So it was very, very, in my opinion, these were kind of boring changes. Nothing real exciting.
Much easier digital and color changes than years when we used to have books and you'd spend hours trying to figure out changes. We're not nearly as easily to appreciate as what we have now.
Yeah.
So a quick flip through the iPad and you can really do it much more
Yes.
efficiently.
The 6-inch 3-ring binders.
Yes, I still have those on my shelves back there. We're required to keep hard copies, so.
It was very nice to go digital in that respect. So if I don't hear any other concerns or questions, that would be considered our first official review and opportunity to discuss and add input and questions. So our next item is entering into an executive session for item G1, which is listed on your agenda. So I have a motion for executive session. Mr. Biesecker, and a second. Mr. Louie. Roll call for executive session.
Mr. Biesecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle.
Passes.
7:07.
And there'll be no official voting or actions taken after the executive session.
And we can go across the hall if that's okay. with everybody.
Sounds good.
Michelle, on that safety count, the 5th through 9th, have you talked about those dates with the sheriff?
I have not.
You have? Oh, I
They-
thought the
they-
5th was their 4th of July.
Well,
Monday.
they were the ones requested those dates.
Okay.
So they've got a schedule with many of the schools in Miami County, and they requested that those are the dates that they would come here. So
I just thought maybe that's their, well, I know that some people, it's their 4th of July, my
Right.
brother-in-law, but I don't, maybe all counties are the same, or all employees aren't the same day.
who knows? I couldn't tell you.
Let him still there.
It's not hard on a child. It's hard to do it on a hard.
Louis doing it.
You need detachable wheels.
What time did we come out of executive? 8:15.
8:15.
Yeah, that's what I put down.
Okay, we are still recording, we are still live.
So we exited executive session at 8:15. Next, we're at adjournment. I have a motion to adjourn. Second. Pastor Wood for a second. Roll call for adjournment.
Mr. Besecker,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Dr. Swab,
Yes.
Mrs. Brewer,
Yes.
Pastor Rindle,
Yes. I have 8:16.
Stand adjourned.
8:16.
Everybody for your time and energy this evening.
And I will offer, anybody wants to text me information on roads tomorrow morning? Take whatever information you got. I'll be
I'll
up
look
to
out
drive.
window, Joe.
I'll be home.
I'll look out the window for you.
Not really.
Yeah, what the heck?